In this video, you'll see me close up these massive holes by adding footholds. These holes were already there when I bought the ski, however I did have to make this side bigger to deal with this cracking area here. So I plan on reinforcing this whole side from the inside out. You can see it took a pretty big impact here on this right side, so I'll make it really strong. The plan is to mix up some thickened epoxy and put it over these thin areas, as well as just some sheets of biaxial glass. I start always by wiping it down with some alcohol. You can see it evaporate there and dry out. And then here I come with the thickened epoxy. This should make it really strong and fill in any gaps. It also helps the fiberglass to not have to make any super sharp turns and conform. I pre-wetted out these sheets to make them easier to install in this confined area. Just did a couple layers here. That should be plenty strong to reinforce it. I picked up these footholds. These are the kicker footholds from Blowsion because they do have a mat kit that they sell with it specific for these. So I followed the instructions. They give very detailed, good instructions with exact measurements. You can see I made some markings on the hole at the appropriate lengths, and then the same markings on the footholds. So this tells you exactly where they need to be to keep them even on both sides. What I plan to do is glass these in and then backfill them with foam. These have a pretty good fit and they should work out pretty well. This right side will be a little more challenging with the big hole that I had to cut to do the reinforcement and part of that hole that was already there. Before I could backfill with foam, I had to make sure all these holes were covered up, so I cut out just some styrofoam I had from another one that was ski that was parted out and plop that in there. It should work nice and give me something to glass to. As I do this, I will make sure to fill in all those holes with thickened epoxy. I also tapered off the whole area so I can get several layers of glass expanding out.
I think this has been probably one of my least favorite tasks to kind of plan out. Just nothing's really like that perfect when you do these. They kind of have to mold and shape to fit. I had to make like a relief cut there. But big picture, what I plan to do is thickened epoxy underneath, screw it down, lay some strips here, here, and here for now. And then tomorrow that should be good enough, secured with the clamps, so I can go back and glass the rest of it. I'll fill in with foam through there and then glass over all that.
I want to be clear that just because I did it this way, that does not mean I would recommend doing it this way as far as the large holes and mounting them flush with the existing sidewall. What the instructions are going to tell you to do is to screw it into the sidewall and to minimize the cutting that you have to do, which is what I would have done had there not already been huge holes and had the right side not needed such a big repair.
Alright, it's time to backfill with some foam. I've made a homemade little paddle wheel, part A, part B of expanding foam, and then a jug here that's going to help me pour, clean this up real nice. I'm not Alright, all things considered, that went pretty well. I was actually a little shocked at how it even busted through on this side. I guess my work here was a little porous, and then also it came right through there. So that was good to know. I didn't know there was a gap there, but I'll have to take care of that. And then a little bit popped through at the bottom there, so hopefully it didn't bust into the drainage tunnel, but we'll see. Back into the vertical position. I had to figure out a way how to glass around the tube. And so what I did was I came up with this styrofoam plug that I ended up glassing over and then sliding this down the exhaust tube to hold the glass while it cured. So I did a little bit of carbon, a little bit of glass there to create a barrier. What I'll do now is mix up some thickened epoxy and just kind of lay that in there and let it fill in all the gaps and make it super strong around that tube. All set up. Part A. Part B is in the container. All right. 3, 2, 1, hack.
Got it up on its side and got this area nice and cleaned up. The plan is to fill in all these low spots with some thickened epoxy to kind of ferret out and then lay some glass right over the top. Forgot to record, but this is what it looks like when it's done.
This is always the best part. Turned out really well.
I got pretty excited when the mat kit came in. Just want to get it laid up on here, see what it's going to look like. This should turn out really nice. I just went with the generic black and gray. That'll pretty much go with anything. I like how it contours to the mold. Like I said earlier, these mat kits were made for these kicker footwells from Blowsion, so that's what I liked about it. Went ahead and knocked out the left side off camera as well, peeling the plastic off here. It's turning out really nice, really strong. And missed the shot there to end it off. This is the end of the foothold video. Probably will do a little bit more work on these, but generally that is the install process for my specific footwells.